What's up, guys? Nick from the Average Biker Garage, back here with another episode of the Average Biker Podcast. Today, I have our fearless leader, Derek Long, the creator and mastermind behind the Wild Stallions motorcycle build competition taking place in Owasso, Michigan. Tried to get him on last year to talk about the inaugural build comp, and for whatever reason our schedules never seem to line up, so got him on this year, and obviously the rest of the builders too, but really wanted to get Derek on here to talk about this, his idea, his brainchild to do this, and just kind of see where it came from and why he wanted to do it and what he thinks about the success that it's having, especially this year. The growth of this show, this competition in a year's time is just crazy. Seeing it from last year, and knowing how it started, the initial meeting in skate shop Dead Bread up there in Owasso to where we're at now is just crazy to think about and to see. Very cool. So I hope you all appreciate and enjoy this conversation I had with Derek. I know I did, and I am really, really looking forward to building these bikes this year. So if by now you are not following the Wild Stallions motorcycle build competition on Facebook, what the fuck are you doing? The Facebook page has been linked in all of the show notes for the past 7 or 8 episodes, so it'll be linked in this one too. If you aren't following, go over there and follow us now. We greatly appreciate it. So, with that being said, here is my interview with Derek Long. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Name, age, location.
My name is Derek Long from Owasso, Michigan, and I'm 38 years old currently. Um, my sign's cancer. I like long motorcycle rides by the beach. Um, yeah, that's about it there.
We've taken a long motorcycle ride together by the beach.
Oh yeah, that dip down there by that lake was truly stunning. And then to come out, and then you were right in the West Virginia area. That was. I'm glad you picked that route. That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't looked at that to see how it turned out on the video.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting. I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, waiting for you to get that all put together.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually. Actually, I should. I need to. Oh, all right. You introduced you. You are the the founder, the creator, the
The
brains
putter
behind.
together.
Yeah, the putter together, the brains
Yeah.
behind the whole Wild Stallions motorcycle building competition.
Yep. Yep.
So before we get into show promotion and how you got into all that, let's talk about how you got into motorcycles. When did you start getting into motorcycles?
So I got into motorcycles, I'd say, from a very early age. I mean, it's always been around me. It's my dad had motorcycles. My uncles were, riding. They were in clubs. They, all of that. I've seen it all. Like, even though my mother tried to block the other side of the curtain, I could still see, what was kind of going on. And I remember this old Iron Head dad had that it was like came in boxes, and it was going to be put together. And I mean, it was always, you know, let's put it together. We'll have something, and stuff like that. And that was pretty much the case until he bought what's called the Purple Sportster, and he rode the hell out of that thing until it was done. And we went and you know went from there. Uh, like I said, it's just kind of always been around. I've seen it. It's been, you know, part of everyday life almost for my whole life. And, it was just a natural progression of where I was going to end up being is doing something, then year ago, I really pulled the trigger on it. Now the boys are a little older. I have the ability to be able to do some more stuff because you got children. It's kind of, my life was on hold. It was like being throttled just to make sure everything was put together for them for a long time. And then I seen my opportunity, even though it's probably not even the most, opportunist time to do it at this time. It was, you better get doing, or you better get, you know, get off.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the guys I talk to that have, started their own business, I've talked to them about doing that. They've all said, just, do it. You're not going to know everything, you know, just focus on steps A and B, and then eventually you get the C and whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, put together a few bikes, mine, others, stuff like that, where it's, it came in, do on a trade or something, get it running or blah, 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 and seeing that happen and just kind of went from there. I mean, I've done metal fabrication and stuff like that for a long time and worked with different people that do stuff of sort of nature. So I guess that's just, I like the idea of the motorcycles and the passion that people can get behind it and stuff like that. And the artist of somebody that takes a design that they see in their head and put it together into a running, riding format of a bike. So,
Right on. So, what was your first bike?
uh, my first bike was Triumph Bonneville that I never actually got finished. My first bike that I rode was a mid 70s, early 80s Yamaha XJ650, which is an inline four shaft driven. It was one of the fastest production bikes of that year. I want to say it was 1980, but it sits behind the small shed at my father's house, and I rode the wheel off that. I think it was need to get a tire on it, and when I parked it, because I rode the rear, tire bald.
So, you still have that bike?
Yeah, it's still out there. We ain't great at getting rid of stuff.
You've seen my garage. You know how I am about that too.
Hmm. Well, I mean, you just got rid of the whatever that was, and
The
create your
V-Star.
open spot. Yeah, the V-Star.
Yeah. Yeah. That was always the plan with that one, though.
Yeah, it was out the door pretty much before you got it.
Yeah. 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 What do you have in
Yeah.
your current stable of bikes?
So right now I have the Ironhead that I built last year. I have a 2002 Deuce. Um, and we got a bunch of parts and pieces for Yamaha XS 650s and 95 Sportster slash Buell when they did their Buell part of the Harley Corporation to kind of put together a street bike of that nature. That was a full out build that is now waiting.
I almost traded the V-Star for a Buell. I was trying. It was the one that had the sports motor in it.
Yeah, I mean it's a good setup. torquey as hell. They run, but I got a I had a problem when I first put it all together because I just put the original power plant right into a different frame and everything, and it wanted to either go or sit.
Gotcha. All right. What's the favorite bike you've owned?
I really like the Deuce. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a little bigger than sporty, but it's still nimble enough to really feel the ride of it and feel that you can control it. Um, and I mean, it's packs enough punch that it's you can get out of the way, and really run with it. Um, I mean, I've rode my father's street glide and all that, and it's great for its application, but I kind of like the feel of almost being one with the bike and one with the road when it comes to be riding like that.
Yeah. You know, I remember when Harley came out with, I think it was the Rushmore. They had it Bluetooth everything and all that shit, and I was heavily against it until I got mine, and I was like, damn, yeah, it's kind of nice having Bluetooth and navigation and heated grips and all that old man shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you ride from Indiana to Pittsburgh, it's especially when it's like leaving in the morning and it's raining and you getting running down that road and you're ready to get. I mean, that's fairing and all that was great, and being able to kick on the cruise control and all certain applications for certain things,
Right.
and it's just if I was gonna go ride like around where I'm at or whatever, not like through a city or down a highway for long stretches. I mean, I would go with something more smaller, nimble, you know, sporty to the deuce or so I can, really get into that riding.
Absolutely. You ever been down to the Dragon? I think we talked about that. You've never been
No,
down
no, no, no.
south that way, have you?
No, I think the only time I've even been in a scenario in that area is passing through, so um not went down to it, no.
Wonder how far the smokeout is away from there, because it's
I,
right there,
I
North
went to the
Carolina line.
smokeout. I went to the smokeout when I was 18. Um and just fresh out of high school and stuff, and rode down there and slept in a van and did all that. That's when it was in Salisbury and stuff, which is now back into Salisbury. I think it was like a 12-hour one way scenario or so. But I mean, we joked around all the way down there and all the way back.
12 hours from your house or 12 to
Yeah.
Salisbury? Oh, I thought you were talking about from the smokeout to the Dragon. I was like,
Oh no, I
there's
have
no
no
way that's
idea.
12 hours.
No.
Yeah. It's 12 hours. Well, I'm not sure where Salisbury's at, but yeah, to the Cherokee, North Carolina, where I stay at down there. It's like 8 hours from here, so
Yeah, I mean you're 2 hours
south of you,
south
yeah.
of
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what I, but I mean that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right. So the Wild Stallions build competition. What
I've heard of it.
made you've heard of it?
Yeah,
Well, that's good. I'd hope so.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what made you decide that you wanted to do your own build competition?
I like the idea of bringing people together and being able to also showcase other people. Um, And also, this is, in my own little way, I'm able to promote other little people that do things, like especially my friends that own businesses around this area and stuff. And, I've really liked and enjoyed uh, being able to meet more people in this whole scenario and promote them, put their name out, do anything that I can to really show there's other people that, are very capable of doing stuff, and such. I mean, and even just last year, I mean, it's opened up a lot of motorcycles really, like you put all the dots together, you look at it all. We wouldn't have met if I didn't do Wild Stallions. I wouldn't have, we wouldn't have went over and met with Josh if that was a whole thing. We wouldn't have been lost in wherever we were in Pittsburgh. Well, I wouldn't have had that any other way. I mean, I very much enjoyed the up and down and back and forth of what we did there. Just seeing a whole different culture of how people live in that scenario was great. And here we are again. You think I would have met Josh Bruss for any other, reason besides, this whole scenario? I probably didn't think I'd ever, be like Sedalia, Missouri. I mean, let's figure out who's there. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, motorcycles just been part of what I've, been around for many years. You know, and it's like, well, I really like the idea, like watching other people put stuff together. Even the building process is one of my most enjoyable aspects of looking at a motorcycle. Is, the thought process that went behind building that part or getting that to fit where that is, or oh, the first person to put a damn sporty tank on somebody else, something else. It took somebody to be like, I bet you that will fit on that, and they did it. And just that whole scenario, I think is very appealing. I really like the old machinery that people use to do the things, and I have, you know machinery and a pole barn that is open and available to be able to do. So, you know you're sitting around one day and you're like, I like motorcycles. I like the aspect of putting them together, spending time with my father and showing my sons and doing things like that. There's other people out there that are doing this too. I mean, there's been pictures old dudes hanging out in garages working on shit for years and years and years. And good one where they got the tree out and they got the chain link over the damn tree and pulling out a motor out of like a 3 window Chevy coupe. And just that whole camaraderie. And so I'm sitting around here, what am I going to do? Can stop my other job to come back to Owasso area because it was closer to the boys. And you know yeah, I got a 79 iron head out in the garage. I need something to kick me in the ass to get that shit done too. Yeah, I wanted to, always kind of be on building bikes and stuff like that. There's a local show. I have this idea, showcasing more of the build that goes behind the whole scenario, and showing what it takes to get to a show. That story, that whole thing. We've had biker build offs in the past that everybody's seen and stuff like that. And I was like, let's take that and bring it here because I'm here. This is where I am. And there's people around here or in the Midwest that are doing the same thing. And you don't have to be in California or down or over in, where the scene is, because it's, you know,
It's in your backyard.
it's in your backyard. That's, you know, we got a guy over, you know, a town over, and he was telling me, he's like, you know, yeah, I mean, there's no reason why we really shouldn't have a showcase of bikes and stuff, because not only did this general area of the US put the world on wheels, we built many of other things and improved, you know, manufacturing and stuff like that to produce the life that we know today. So, I mean, you know, I just started running with it after that, and um going from there, and I got with the show, the Owasso Vintage Motorcycle Show, that, you know, very much it's been great in every application of this scenario, and helped me out and supported and did all that. And like, yeah, you want a spot, here you go. And then I just went from there and was like, well, let's run. And that was last year, and I think last year went, you know, for what it was and everything that we did, I think it was great.
For the first year, it could have went a lot worse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I thought last year was great. It was a good
I
time.
mean, you get Thunder Roads back in you and stuff like that too. That's just a blessing in its own, and you kind of got to go. And now that put me up on a, you know, an even bigger, let's say, pedestal, where it's like, you know, this is, you know, I got shit to lose, man. I might as well throw it all at the goddamn screen door and get something going, because, you know, I'm just sitting around here other than that, you know, trying to, you know, just make ends meet, and just, you know, let's try to get, you know, going with something, you know, put some steam behind it and kind of go from there. And that's really the whole driving force was, you know, looking at what I had going and looking at what I wanted to do, and looking at, you know, knowing other people are doing the same thing, and, you know, wanting to bring them and promote and go. And here we are today.
So, how long would you say that it was from just an idea to actual plans in place and wheels in motion
Well,
to
I kicked this idea
make it
around
happen?
for a few years, and
Oh, really?
you know, I was like, you know, I go, like I said before, I'm kind of here until, well, my boys are, one's, you know, he's gonna be 18 next week or week after, whatever. But then my other boy's 15. So I mean, I'm at this location with no, you know, anything until I know that they're secure in what they're doing. So if you can't, you know, say you're going to a show on the other side of the country, or you're going to a show that is, you know, a state or two away, then the next option is you make something and you go with it. And that's what I've tried to do in this scenario.
So, what did you build last year? I know what you built, but
And I built the bastard year of a 1979 Ironhead Sportster, which I didn't know that it was considered the bastard year when I got it. I just bought it from a guy around here that's called Sportster Tom, and then it sat in um my garage. I moved it. You know, brought it with me when we went from the old house to the new house, and, you know, I I mean, it really didn't affect me in the ways that, you know, whereas everybody else would, you know, call it a bastard child of a year, but it was kind of like pipes 1 year off, and, you know,
why is it
the
called the bastard? I've heard 78 and 79 are the bastard years. Why?
yeah, they ended up going from right hand shift to left hand shift. They had to make it to fit the government standards, where everything was supposed to be one general scenario across all motorcycle brands. And it was kind of like, from what I've heard, it's we got these from this and this from that and this from this, and they just threw it all together and said, "That's a '79 Ironhead right there."
So just like a lot of one-off parts.
Yeah, it was just probably clearing out inventory of old pieces and parts. And I have a thing about buying one-off years for some reason. Like, I buy things that I'm like, oh, that will be easy to fix, or there's a million of those. And the next thing you know, it's a one-off transmission drive shaft year, or it's never been recorded. It was only sold to a city as a municipality truck, or you know. And my wife gives me hell. And then I just bought this damn S10 for the boy, and it's like ABS problem. And you know how many S10s they made? Billions. You know how many ABS modules are ready for that truck? One. It's like 1 year only. I'm like, God damn it, with this. Like, the guy told me when I called and asked for it, he was, "Yeah, there's no way the scrapyard don't have 15 of them." Oh yeah, it's a 1 year off. I'll have to order it in. It'll be like 2 weeks. Yeah, I just
What
started kind
year?
of trickling. It's a 2000 S10.
Oh, so that's the second gen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the 4-wheel drive model. So 4-wheel
Um,
drive, not the ZR, not the Blazer model, only the 4-wheel drive 4.3 2000 S10 has that particular ABS module in it. And what do we have? We have an ABS problem. I don't know. It just happens to be the way shit goes.
that's why you get such good deals on the shit, because
Well, I was wondering why. I thought it was just my good looks and my smooth talking, but
yeah, yeah,
I found that to be false.
that's yeah, not true, not true. So last year when you started the build comp, did you did you expect it to grow outside of Owasso? Like, I know I came from Indiana last year, but now we've got
Mhm.
me from Indiana, another guy from Indiana, a guy from Missouri, a guy from Ohio, and I think the rest are all up there in Michigan, but um,
Yeah. I mean,
only
so two from Indiana, one from Ohio, one from Missouri, Fowlerville, Gaines, Fenwick, me.
did you expect it to go Midwest wide?
That's all you can hope for. I mean, I don't start stuff thinking I'm gonna, only be sitting at, in my side yard doing it. I mean, if you're gonna aim for something, you might as well shoot for the damn moon, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I started it. I was like, I know there's a couple people around here, be around motorcycles long enough, you're gonna figure out, there's somebody else doing something. And I thought I might even, get some close scenario last year. And but I mean, I'm looking at, I want it to become something. I want it to, be something. I want it to be somebody's, I'm going to that show this year. I want, stuff like that to happen. I mean, that's always floating around in my head. And like, promote the hell out of it, and hopefully you see what sticks. And that's really the only way that, you know, you can do something. I mean, I'm not behind the whole, like, hey, let's, good enough. I mean, if I'm trying to do something, I want it to be at least the best that I can even try to do, even though I'm putting myself out there in an awkward way, or, doing something. Like I said, I ain't got nothing to lose. And go for it. Shoot out all those, messages to sponsors and ask for, something. And, you know, just so I can, last year Zach got it, and I'm very thankful that everything that I got, and I'm glad he got it. But just going out there and, hey, is there anything you could donate? Hey, is there anything that you could throw our way? Hey, you know, stuff like that. Because I've heard a lot of no's. I've heard a lot of, you need a bigger following, you need this. But I mean, if you think of yourself as being real small, you're gonna attract that same mindset, like, oh, it's just this or it's just that. So you might as well, you know, go into it with the mindset that it's everything starts somewhere. And you got to just go from there. Sturgis didn't start, as a, you know, 3 day shut down the whole town, make the population grow times 10. There's a couple guys hanging out, doing a thing. All these shows started that way. It's just, hey, I had an idea, let's run with it. And but I mean, yeah, I ain't trying to put, good enough together. I ain't calling it the good enough competition. I want everybody to come and be like, oh, that's good turnout. That's nice. What he did there was, good on that bike. I like that. And I wanted to also be like, man, I like how he painted that bike gold. And I gotta up my game next year. I gotta come for that Wild Stallions trophy. I gotta be holding that thing above my head. You know, got to be going for it, and then just bring everybody else up and promote, and do from there. Can't go any other way about it.
So what are you building this year?
This year's 95 Evo Sportster motor.
I thought you were doing a shovel.
No, I don't got no shovel.
Oh, you're doing a sporty. I'm doing a sporty.
Got Bruce is doing a sporty. We're gonna have a sporty smoke out, man.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see? Yeah, because I don't post the videos of this. He showed me a video of his bike. Looks good. Looks
I
good.
know. I
But
already got everything.
Zach's doing an Ironhead.
Mm-hmm. Which
So
Tanya is going to paint. That woman's a true artist. I'll see, like, now that we're friends on Facebook, like, here's a wall mural. I'm like, Jesus, if I could freaking, even touch painting that good would be a blessing. I mean, she's, you know, really got a knack for that stuff. And I mean, she'll be painting that one, it'll be hers. So I'm hoping it's bright pink and got, a bunch of really cool stuff on it.
yeah, I saw you got a shipment of steel in the other day. Are you building your
I'm
frame?
building everything.
You're building everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm probably
Going
on my
fucking
front
hard
porch
this
right
year.
now. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I gotta up the game. I gotta go for that trophy. I mean, I, that's the whole point. If you're not gonna go for bettering yourself, the way there's this old saying, and I like to bring it up in this kind of scenario. If you're the smartest man in the room, then you're
You're
in
in the
the
wrong
wrong
room.
room. So Zach had a killer bike last year. I'm not just gonna, be like, oh, that's cool. I'll just kind of, figure out what I'm doing. No, I'm going to push myself harder to try to do something better. I mean, that's all, I'm not just gonna bring something. I want to bring something that, you know, Franklin Grimes, he told me that he was going through the Facebook and I shared a picture of his dad's bike through the Wild Stallions page. There was
Really?
this it was like inspiration. It had a bunch of old chopper pictures and stuff like that that in slow times and off season I was sharing. And his dad's bike was one of the first thumbnails that was on that. And that's what I want. I want one of those bikes that somebody sees in, one of those scenarios and they're like, I seen that. I watched it get built. It was at Owasso Vintage Iron, vintage Owasso Vintage Motorcycle Days on August 24th, 2024.
Right. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Just, I mean, go for it or sit your ass down. I mean, I'm gonna go for it.
Have you ever built a full frame before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
I went through um going and putting stuff together with other scenarios and stuff like that. A full frame, let me take that back. No. Um have I been there and helped put together scenarios like that? Yeah. So it is outside of my general comfort zone of yes, I've completely done it myself, but I mean, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to be doing. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Nervous about it?
I built this thing in my head for the last 4 months in my head, probably like 20 times. So like I haven't even touched anything yet. But until I'm that person where it's, you know, in my head on, what I'm doing until the I can't just start running and figure it out as I go. I've meticulously figured out a scenario and then I put it into practice. And I'm also a stickler for I feel that things need to go in a certain order. And you know, I could be polishing a motor right now, but I feel that I want to make sure that my frame's able to withstand holding the motor before I start polishing the motor. I want to build my front end before I get, my frame going so that I know where I'm going to put the rake on that. Um, you know, and you're going to find those pieces of I need to get one of these and those parts and pieces that'll fall into place. I got to go to Flint this, Sunday for that swap meet and looking for a rear tire for that rear invader that I got. And that'll give me the height off of where my rear end needs to be. So, I mean, it's all, I feel that things go in a particular, way. I hear about it from the lady all the time about, oh, you think that this is the only, but yeah, I mean, I'm very particular on like, I think that you should fix the room before you paint it. It's one of those whole scenarios. This comes in front of that. I ain't jumping in. I'm walking in the way that I feel that I need to be doing it.
Right. I got you. Yeah, I usually start by stripping the bike down and seeing. I start with full bikes. I've never done a full frame like that. That's hopefully sometime.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's somewhere that I want to be. So it's somewhere that I'm going to put myself. And I find that one of the best ways that I even learn how to do anything is like, well, now you got it all apart. Now you told people you're going to do it. Now you got to figure the shit out.
Right. right? So you do have all the tools to do that. You sent me your bender last year,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you got like a full machine shop up there, don't you?
yeah. Father used to do a lot of um making fixtures and jigs and doing dye work and stuff like that, and that's still all there. And he don't run a business out the garage no more. And then I have my tools and my stuff that I've kind of added to that because there was a lot of times I didn't even have an area to have my own stuff. I got pole barn behind my house right now, but that's full with everything else, and a whole nother amount of shit. So I mean, that's just always been like where I've worked on things. Where I started, building tattoo stands when I was younger for tattooers, and then I went from there to building disc golf baskets, and it was all just I have this equipment, and it's readily available. It's then I bring my stuff in, just kind of like our place to work.
All right. So where do you see the build competition going?
I don't have any idea where the build contest will be going. I'm already a few years ahead of myself in where I thought it even could be. And but you know, I would like to
I was gonna say where would you like it to go then?
I would like to have a really cool destination of somewhere that a show can happen where people are riding to come to the show. And you know, not just be the build competition. I like that as, an aspect of it. I think that it is very much a great aspect of it, but there's survivor bikes that people are finding and doing, and freshening up and bringing back around. I like that. I want to see that. There's you know trikes that people are building. I watched this one guy on Facebook, and uh, I'd like to bring something like that. I mean, but there's also like other aspects of show that I would like to incorporate, and stuff like that. And I would like to eventually have a show where I'm going to Wild Stallions, and or whatever it ends up being. And okay, I'm going to go to that show in Michigan this summer. So that's where I'm doing. And you count me out for a weekend or a week, because I'm going to go to that show and bring people together that wants to see the same kind of scenario and realize that we can do it in this area of the country, and that we're doing it in this area of the country, and this is what we're doing in this part of the country. I'd like to again keep showcasing that on top of everything else. I mean, I'm very much a Midwestern person. Like, I like the history, I like the area, I like doing all that. I don't see myself going to Southern California and living in that, or down to
Right.
Texas and living in that, or over into the East Coast and living in that. I mean, I live in a town that's, not huge. And it's already like I want to go farther where the roads are a little more open so I can keep going, but have an annual meeting of collective minds and metal sculptures and stuff of all that nature.
Yeah. No, that'd be great to have around here. Like, I know in my area there's not a whole lot of people. We have like Ben Jeff, and then his name's Jeremy, I think, from Joker Cycle Works that does shit, but they're all out of Fort Wayne, south of me.
Yeah,
So
I see
yeah,
a lot of Ben Jeff stuff. He's been around. Um, he hangs out with that Reese there, Zulstrus.
yeah, he does a lot of really cool shit.
Yeah,
That's
I like that frame. That dude that he won Wild Sportster, Wild Custom in the actual Wasso Vintage. Won a frame off of him last year. It was probably like a month or two before the show.
you want a Ben Jeff an intruder frame?
Yeah,
Huh.
he did the Instagram drawing or whatever that he had, and he ended up winning that. And he was hitting me up a while before that about wanting to talk because he used to run a different podcast, and he was going to break out on his own or something, and wanted to talk about show and stuff like that, and it never came to fruition. And then he showed up at the show, and if you went all the way down to like the main drags, of the show, he had like a black Sportster with these pipes went and Z'd out and went up straight, and it was right next to the bank at the very end of the whole scenario.
Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, and dude's name evades me, but he's only over in Flushing, which is 10-15 minutes away.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I only have one more question for you. The
I Velociraptor.
what?
I thought you were going to ask me what my favorite dinosaur was.
No,
Damn it.
no, no. The name.
Nobody ever asks that when you become an adult.
I don't know any adults that are into dinosaurs. I mean, I guess you're the only one.
You're losing out, nerd.
So the name of the competition, Wild Stallions. You've gotten shit from guys on all the Facebook groups that you've posted in about Bill and Ted. Where did you get the name, the Wild Stallions?
Bill and Ted. No, I mean, truthfully, I did. It was, I was kicking around names for what I was going to do, and a guy from Wasso told me, I'm going to have, because I was just going to run my whole scenario on its own, but with the whole promoting with them, I mean, with the whole promoting outside and bringing it all together, he was like, yeah, name it and do all that. And I was like, okay. So I kept throwing around, names, ideas, and I was like, Garage Built Moto was like, then I into classic rock and stuff like that also. I mean, that's what we listen to when we're in the garage or we're working and stuff like that. And you know, I'm a cowboy and a steel horse I ride, and that started kicking around in my head. And um then I'm like, oh, there's a freaking concert down a little south of us, and it's faster horses, so I don't really want to have anything horse. So, and I mean, the Salisbury, North Carolina, the smoke out was originally the horse. So, I can't, name it horse. And so I trying to find a, vintage name that's kind of goes along with, you know, everything. And it's like, a horse, a stallion, and a wild stallion, and Sam Medina's high school rocks. And then I just went and said, that's it. I mean, yeah, people are gonna give you shit about a name, even better for it. If you can make freaking one person happy a day, I guess that's all you can ask for anymore. But it's kind of like it goes along with a vintage show. Wild Stallions. It's not spelled Stulluns. I mean, it's a nod to it. I'm not gonna say it's not. Kind of also goes along with the Iron Horse scenario that I was saying, and then you fuck, I mean, Mama tried ain't any different. You look at that, and
Right.
that's a damn you know song, and and there's no, it hasn't been done before. I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, and I just liked it. I liked the way it ran. I liked the way it sounded. I liked the way it fit with both the vintage and you know, the whole thing with my idea coming together, and you know, that was pretty much that. And I thought it was catchy. I've heard, it's good, it's bad, it's why, it's you know,
I dig it.
I I freaking went and it popped in my head one day, and I was just about ready to fall asleep and woke up in a fever dream, and that was like that's it. You know, yeah. There's the whole like back when I was a kid, I can remember uh Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure would play like on daytime television, and I remember I sat down, I watched that. I was a little kid, and the whole going to hell scene and the rabbit and the reaper and all that. It's just always something that stuck with me. And like just not too much other than that. I mean, you think something's gonna work, you kind of run with that. That's how I went with it.
Right on. I dig it. Fuck what everyone else says. So, all right. What are you, Facebook page, Instagram? Plug your shit, man. I'll post it in the show notes too.
Uh, so my Facebook is Derek Long. My Instagram long underscore speed. On all platforms other than that, Wild Stallions motorcycle build. Looking for sweet ideas, new people. I
Sponsors.
don't care if it's motorcycles or not. Truthfully, I like manufacturing. I like people getting their hands dirty. I like all that kind of scenario. So, you
Craftsmanship.
know, craftsmanship, that's something that, people are really putting as much thought into anymore. It just comes from the damn store. I like hand built everything, promote local shopping in your neighborhood, all that kind of whole scenario. You know, so hit me up. We'll go out and have a dinner date. Talk
Have a
some,
have a long motorcycle
talk
ride next
some.
to the beach.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Well, thanks for coming on. It's been, but I tried getting you on last year and you couldn't figure out fucking Skype. So finally get you on this year.